My cute neighbor's daughter knocked on my door at midnight, and when I opened it, this tiny 6-year-old in daisy pajamas stood there clutching her stuffed rabbit and whispered 4 words that shattered the silence I'd lived in for 4 years. I need a dad before Friday. I'm Samson, 38, a widower, the man this little girl had been quietly watching through my office window for months. The one she'd nicknamed the Sad Window Man because every night my light burned alone. I designed beautiful homes for other families to fill with laughter. But my own house held nothing except the ghost of the wife I'd lost and a silence shaped exactly like her. And her mother? Hannah, my beautiful neighbor of 2 whole years, a fiercely independent single mom, an ER nurse who held strangers' hands through their worst nights but had forgotten how to ask anyone to hold hers. We'd exchanged exactly 47 polite sentences across 2 years of living side by side. I'd shoveled her driveway once and slipped away before she could thank me. But that midnight knock cracked open something 4 years of grief never could. I knelt down to her level. The night air smelled like jasmine. "Why me, sweetheart? Because you look as lonely as me," she whispered. "And Friday is the father-daughter dance. Every girl is bringing a dad. I'm the only one who doesn't have one." Something inside my chest broke clean in half. "What's your name?" I asked. "Lily. And this is Captain." She held up the rabbit. One ear was longer than the other. "Will you, please, just be my dad for one night?" I looked at this brave little girl who had crossed a dark yard alone, who had knocked on a stranger's door at midnight because she refused to be the only one standing alone on Friday. And before I could answer, headlights swept across the street. A car slowed in front of Hannah's house. A man stepped out, tall, expensive jacket, a stranger I'd never seen. Lily turned, saw him, and her whole face went white. "Lily," I said carefully. "Who is that?" Her small hand grabbed mine and squeezed so tight it hurt. "That's the man," she whispered, "who's going to ruin everything. If your heart is already racing the way mine did that night, do me one small favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now, so you never miss a single moment of this story. Trust me, you do not want to miss what this little girl does next. Now let's continue. The man's name was Marcus, Lily's father. He hadn't called in 2 years. He hadn't sent a birthday card, a phone call, nothing. But somehow, 3 days before the dance, here he was, climbing Hannah's porch steps like he owned them. I walked Lily home through the dark yard, her tiny hand still gripping mine. Hannah opened her door before we reached it, and the moment she saw Marcus standing there, her whole body went stiff as stone. "Marcus," she said. Her voice was calm. Her eyes were not. "What are you doing here?" "I heard about the dance." He smiled, smooth, practiced, the kind of smile that had fooled her once. "I'm her father. I should be the one taking her." Lily pressed herself behind my leg and didn't say a word. And right there, something fierce woke up inside me, something I hadn't felt in 4 years. "Mama," Lily whispered, "I don't want to go with him. I want to go with Mr. Samson." Marcus's smile cracked. "Excuse me? Who is this guy?" "Some neighbor." Hannah looked at me, then at her daughter clinging to my leg, then at the man who had walked out when Lily was 1 year old and only came back when it made him look good. "Lily," Hannah said softly, "go inside and brush your teeth, baby." The little girl hesitated. Then she did something that nearly knocked me over. She wrapped both arms around my waist, looked up and said, "Good night, Dad." Not Mr. Samson. Dad. The word landed in my chest like sunlight in a room that had been dark for years. Marcus's face twisted. "She doesn't even know him. I'm her blood. I have rights." "You had rights," Hannah said, stepping in front of her daughter. "You gave them up every single day you didn't show up. You don't get to walk back in 3 days before a dance and pretend you're a father." But Marcus only smiled again. "We'll see what a judge says about that." And just like that, he turned and walked back to his car, leaving those 3 cold words hanging in the night air like a threat. Hannah's hands were trembling. For the first time in 2 years, the strong, independent woman looked at me, really looked at me, and whispered something that broke my heart. "I don't know if I can fight him alone." And I realized I didn't want her to, Before we reach the ending that made me cry writing it, please tap subscribe and turn on the notification bell. This is the part of the story you'll want to share with someone you love. Now, let's finish this together. The next 4 days changed everything. I didn't just say yes to a dance. I said yes to them. Tuesday, Hannah brought chicken and rice over in her good blue dish, and we ate at my kitchen table like a family I never thought I'd have. Wednesday, I fixed the broken swing in their backyard while Lily supervised with Captain. Thursday, Hannah and I stayed up past midnight talking about Claire, about Marcus, about the silence we'd both been living in right next door to each other for 2 whole years. I was scared to need anyone, she admitted, her eyes shining. So was I said, until a 6-year-old knocked on my door. But Marcus didn't disappear. Friday morning, he showed up with a lawyer's letter, demanding to take Lily to the dance himself. And that's when little Lily did the bravest thing I've ever seen. She walked right up to her father, looked him in the eye and said, "You can come to the dance, but you can't be my dad. A dad is someone who shows up every day, not just the easy ones." Marcus opened his mouth. Nothing came out. And for the first time, he saw the truth in his daughter's eyes. And slowly, quietly, he put the letter back in his pocket and drove away. This time for good. That evening, I held Lily's hand as we walked into the school gym, glittering with paper stars. Every head turned. She wore a yellow dress. I wore the tie she picked. And when the music started, she stood on my shoes the way little girls do, and we danced. The sad window man and the little girl who refused to let him stay sad. Across the room, Hannah watched us with tears running down her face. Later, under those paper stars, she finally told me what Lily had confessed weeks before, the real plan all along. She didn't just want a dad for one night, Hannah whispered. She told me she picked you because she wanted you to be happy again, and she wanted a family, for all 3 of us. I looked down at this fearless little girl asleep against my shoulder, Captain tucked under her chin. She hadn't just found a dad before Friday. She'd healed a broken man, opened a guarded heart, and built a family out of 2 lonely houses standing side by side. 1 year later, I married Hannah in that same backyard. And Lily? She was the flower girl. Captain was the ring bearer. If this story touched your heart, comment Lily below, share it with someone you love, and subscribe for more stories that remind us all that family isn't always blood. Sometimes it just knocks on your door at midnight.